Hey, 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 Brannon Beliso here. You're living your best life. It is Friday, April 14th, the day before tax day. I know a lot of people are not here in California. We got extensions because of all the rain and flooding and stuff. But most people, it's tax time, man. You got to get those taxes done and filed by the 15th of April. But here on the West Coast, it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is Success Never Sleeps. I'm broadcasting today from one of our locations, our Millbrae location, and our mission statement sits up there on the wall behind me, but it's ultimately about living your best life. Let's start by thanking our sponsor. Whoa, what? Are we starting the show over, Marco? So we have Tusai, we have Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. I'm very passionate about aligning myself with disruptive companies, with companies that really live from purpose, and all of these companies live from purpose. And we also have some new postcards at Kids Love Life Skills you should go check out. I'm really big on retention postcards, first and foremost because kids don't get mail, right? So for us, we have 5 different postcards there. I don't know if you can find them, Marco, and throw them up. But number one, kids don't get mail. Two, anytime we can validate and acknowledge people and show a deeper appreciation for beyond of what they spend in our businesses, but for the relationship that we cultivate together, that's where the magic can happen. It truly, truly can happen. And is the byproduct the more invested in you, they're going to spend more money with your company? I think so. I think so, right? At the minimum, they get through life with you, and that relationship becomes so much more than just the monetary investment they make into your business. And it just has so much more meaning. There's one. You are awesome. And they're based upon using all our different badges that Kids Love Life Skills. We refab these and added our logo in there and gave it some great color behind it. And so think about it. You're awesome. We can give those so many times. You could send one to one of your team members if you want. The point is acknowledging somebody's an amazing, special person is super cool. So instead of the "you did great" card, we did a different take on it. We did "you are awesome." Another one is the thank you card. We got the thank you one there, Marco. People trip on this one because what we do is when somebody quits our school, we send you a thank you postcard. Yes, we do. We send you a thank you postcard and we handwrite on the back of it, "Thank you for allowing us to serve you. If you'd ever like to continue your martial arts journey, we'll be right here waiting." Real simple. I believe the value of the relationship has to be more important than the money again. And if we can give them as much love going out the door as we gave them coming in the door, the potential is unlimited. It's unlimited on what we can do for people when, above all, our core values center around the relationship first, right? Relationships first. So as you come aboard, say hi. Who do we have here? We've got Miami. Roy's here from Miami. Bob Poole's here. If you're coming aboard, say hello. Say hello. We love to acknowledge people. There you go. Validate people when they come on the show. I get to see Bob next week in Boston. I know Roy Maltese is coming to Boston. We get to see a handful of people. And I love the intimacy of our events. The intimacy of our events is not about quantity. It will always be quality. Somebody reached out to me and said, "Man, your event's so much more expensive than anything else out there." I said, "Yeah, but the love you get from me is a lot different." Again, much like camps, which we're going to talk about today, how to create a premium camp, right? I don't encourage any martial arts school to be pricing themselves in the same line as the YMCA or any of those other park and rec locations. We just don't have the bandwidth. And if you want to run 100 and 150 campers, so be it at $99 a week. We choose not to do that. And I'm going to get in deep about that today too, because if we can have that, then for me, the balance in our cultures, we are first and foremost a martial arts school. But make no mistake, everything we do is premium. Our birthday parties are premium. We charge $750 for a 2-hour birthday party, 30 minutes setup, 30-minute teardown. Our after school program is $760 a month for 4 to 5 days a week. And I know in our community here, we are on the high end of the scale. But one of the things we preach is we are a boutique after school program. We only take 36 kids. We are passionate about low student to counselor ratio. So things of that nature really cater to a niche market because there are people out there that simply can't afford it. And that is fine. that is fine. There are people out there that can't afford a Tesla or a Bentley or whatever the case may be, but they still drive a car. So I think it's understanding who you are and position yourself that way. Hey, Alyssa, what's happening? Ontario, Canada, from Rockland, Ontario, Canada. And so again, when we talk about camps and since we're in there, we might as well just go for this craziness. Is that a lot of people will do summer camps because they're trying to fill out those lean summer months. Now we know it, especially now that the pandemic's pretty much subsided. Everybody and their mother is traveling, right? I just saw that Delta is didn't have great first quarter earnings, but their summer is booked. They say flights are booked up like 38% or something, some number like that. So people will be traveling a lot this summer. So can day camps shore that up? Absolutely. But if you don't love camps and you don't love spending all day with kids and you don't love that, please don't do camps just to make money. Why? And I witness it all the time. You half-ass it and it's second thought. Classic example. Well, we don't want to do camps because it burns out our team. You don't use your team to teach camps. You bring in the college kids, you bring in the high school kids, right? That's who you hire. Well, I don't know how to hire them. Go through the career center at the college, go through the career center at the high school. Every one of them have them. Think of the low-hanging fruit within your own tribe. Post it in your school. Reach out to all your parents. Push a notification through My Studio. Announce it in classes. Let know, hey, you got kids and they're in high school or college. They want to work for us for the summer. Let's do this. And the key is you'll have the confidence to make that type of move if you have strong systems in place to train people. We're just discussing that. We try to keep a mix of the veterans who understand our camps really well and then those that are newcomers. Like in San Francisco, we have a person who started out as a camper, has been teaching us forever, works in the school district with special needs kids. They got a degree in that. And so their summers are always open. They love running our camps. She rocks our freaking camp. She is a veteran. She's a veteran. And then we sprinkle that with, a lot of our bench strength kids who've been with us since elementary school and they're black belts. And now, they're in high school and they want a summer job and the band played on. So I think it's important to know you'll have the confidence to go out there and hire outside staffing. Number one, if you have a strong anchor, somebody that has done your camps, has experience in your camps. Two, you have really strong systems in place to train people. We do an hour and a half Zoom, and then we do a 3-hour in-person training. And those two things really gear people up, but we're very, very explicit that with our lead counselors that are veterans, as well as the newcomers, this is on-the-job training. Make no mistake, there's a lot of things that happen in our camps that no matter how much we role play, that you can't quantify for. You're in the heat of battle, and this is what goes on. So there's always that lifeline. We keep a Slack channel, and at the end of their shift, they tell us what went well, what they could do better. Parents will have their challenges and share them with us. We'll post that information via Slack. So establishing a strong line of communication for your team in camp is real important. It simply is. Much like we have a Google phone number for all of our parents, and they use that exclusively. And when they hit that thing, we know I'm dropping my kid off late. They're sick today. They're not coming. I'll meet you at the park and drop them off. Hey, I'm here to pick them up. Please get them ready. All those things happen in that confined environment of the Google phone number, but it's somewhere we can all see it. And whatever we can't communicate there, we communicate that in Slack. You with me? So again, I think these nuts and bolts things you put in place, the foundation of your camp, is real vital in order to execute a premium camp, but also so your team is successful. And that's always been a big thing for us. It really has been. So we value that returning team. So that guy who's away at college, he's getting more money every summer he comes back. And we let him know that at the end of camp. Hey, when you come back, there'll be a raise waiting for you, and we'd love to have you back next summer. On and on. Because I think as long as they're in college, 4 years, 5 years, if you can utilize them during the summer and they don't have to go out and look for a job, they have the built-in job in place, that's a good day for you, right? That's a good day. And so with that said, I forgot to make that plug. Next week, April 23rd, I'll be in Boston. April 23rd in Boston for It's Time Live. Boston. You still got time. Grab a ticket. Come spend the day with us. We're going to eat good. It's a small group of about 15 people so far, but that intimacy allows us to go deep. We're also going to offer the virtual event, but the virtual events only go 9 to 4. And then the last 2 hours is going to be exclusive, off the grid, away from virtual. We're going to go deep with the attendees that are there. So I recommend that if you can make it there in person, come spend 8 hours with me, Brannon Beliso. And if you can, come the day before, because it's going to be at Focus Martial Arts in Woburn. Marco has his grand opening. And we've done a lot of work on planning that grand opening, from press releases to getting the mayor to come, to planning the games, to, what are we going to offer, the cannoli truck, all these different things. So I'm really excited to see it come into fruition. And I'll be there, as a good teammate, backing up Marco in whatever way that he needs me. But it's a great insight into my thinking, right? And how I work with my clients. And Marco's my friend too. But how we worked and we cultivated this. They sent me the press release the other night. It was a great press release, and things like that. I mean, that's if anything, what I think I love about that, just like having my lawyer. I have a lawyer on retainer, and we've had an issue at the Millbury location where the landlord has not fixed the lights. We have these runway lights outside. It's been a year, a whole freaking year, and we've threatened to do it ourselves and take it out of the rent. No, 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 don't do that. And the issue is the electrician is waiting on parts. And this has gone on for a whole year. The real remedy is to replace all 6 lights with new fixtures, which will be easier and faster to obtain than waiting for archaic parts on a light fixture that's potentially 20 years old. So what did I do? I went to my lawyer. That's it. Spent an hour with my lawyer. She looked at the lease. She says unequivocally, it is the landlord's duty. She sent him the email letter. Within 3 hours, he sent an electrician to our site. So the same thing here. I love that the relationships I have with my clients. Marco knows he can text me in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, what do you think of this? What should we do here?" Right? His wife sent me that letter the other day with the press release. So those types of things give you just reassurance when you get that second opinion, that vote of confidence from somebody you trust that's experienced. It's worth its weight in gold. I can't tell you how much it's worth its weight in gold. So I encourage you to have somebody like that, that mentor, somebody like that, because ultimately you're going to make whatever decision you make, but to at least have a sounding board in your life to bounce issues like that off can save you a lot of pain and suffering and money. Cool? Those of you coming aboard, say hi. Tell me who's tuning in today as we broadcast here from One Martial Arts Millbury. Okay, so we talked about that fundamental foundation, right? I've got strong systems in place to train this team. I want to make sure those camps rock. Remember, and as I share with my team passionately, people are entrusting their children to you. Their children. Make sure that everything you design is built around safety. Make sure everybody you staff is safety minded, right? Every procedure you create, you adopt, promotes safety. When I hear these horrific stories about some kid drowning in a day camp, that is not a good day. That is not. We used to swim. We took it out. Nobody swims anymore in our camps. And so, again, depending upon where you are in the country, you have that type of competition. We don't do field trips. And we used to do field trips. We don't do them anymore. The liability that accompanies that field trip is huge. It doesn't mean you can't produce a premium camp. Okay? So, a good resource of hiring, a good mix of internal staff that is there year after year after year, I think can promote one, safety, but also promote that new fresh blood coming in to keep that long-time staff from being complacent. And then next, great systems of training. Okay. Now, what are those systems of training based upon? Well, we mentioned safety, right? But let's talk about the fundamental structure of the camp. We do schedules. And if you don't stick to that schedule, we have a huge problem with staffing you on our team, right? We were morphing into 20-minute mods now because we find they're faster, they're better, and they're more fun. Especially, again, we have a smaller premium camp. So we break them into 3 groups: gold, blue, and silver. We even have little wristbands which go right around the wrist. So get the visual. Gold is 5 and 6. Blue, 7 and 8. Silver, 9 and older. Okay? I'm going to kind of take you through that orientation in the morning. They walk through the door. There's a big sign that says welcome campers. There's a sign-in sheet. We have the other sheet with things like allergies, behavioral stuff. All that is there. We see that cell phone number, everything's there, because if we're out in the field and that kid gets injured, we automatically FaceTime a parent because it's the parent's call. Hey, they got this bruise. They were climbing on the jungle gym. We gave them an ice pack. They've got a knot on their head. We want you to see it. What would you like us to do? They're not complaining of consciousness. They're fine. They just have a bump on their head. Do you want us to call 911? Do you want to come pick them up? Or do we keep them here to the end of the day? Because you are not in that position to make those calls. And I've had discussions with this with our lawyers and with our HR. Please do not make those sensitive calls, because a lot of people don't want you calling 911 because of the ambulance costs that accompany all that. Now, if somebody is unconscious, you call 911. They're not, they're not coherent. They can't make a decision. You need to make those calls. And we talk about that in our fitness, kickboxing, our adult classes, all of that. And even though I've got a defibrillator on site, by law, we have to have one. Believe me, we'd much rather call 911. The fire department is literally 3 blocks away from this location. San Francisco, literally 3 blocks away. Is that intentional? Absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that we got locations so close to the EMT and the police department, the fire department, all day long. The police department is 3 blocks away. San Francisco, it's about 6 blocks away. So again, strategically, when we chose those locations, that was a variable. It's absolutely a variable, right? And if you can position yourself that way, again, the peace of mind as an owner comes with that. So you walk through the front door, it says, welcome to One Martial Arts. Music's playing. On the mat, we have dodgeball with preferably our volunteer high school kids, not paid positions yet, volunteer. Otherwise, yes, they are paid. And we're playing dodgeball, but there's no kids here yet, right? So one counselor's on this side, all the kids are on the other side of that mat. And as they accumulate, when they get up to about 10, then we split them in 2 groups of 5 and they play each other. But you want to make sure the back room is all set up, kid height tables, kid height chairs, everything's good to go. And we have Legos and coloring and Connect 4, things like that. Because not every kid is ready to hop into freaking dodgeball when they walk through the door. But creating that Disney experience of being on a microphone, everybody who walks through the door, hey, welcome to the One Martial Arts Kids Fun Camp. Good morning, Johnny. You hear that over the loudspeaker, it's a good day for mom and dad. They sign them in. We take one of the wristbands, whether it's gold, blue, or silver, and we pre-write everybody's names on these bands with a Sharpie, because every day you're going to probably be replacing these bands. They leave your camp, they rip the band off their wrist. Now, why do we have the bands? So we can, one, quickly identify what group this kid's supposed to be in, put them in their group, see their name on this band, and be able to move them efficiently through our facility or at the park. They have that wristband. We take the second wristband and we wrap it around the handle of their backpack, because when we go to the park, they bring their backpack. They have their snack in the park at about 10 a.m. and they eat their lunch in the park around 10:30. That helps with the cleanup and mess here, at the school, as well as we get them outdoors, which every parent wants during the summer. And of course, with, still the residual COVID protocols, parents love that their kids aren't eating inside our facility in an enclosed space. They love that they're eating their snack outside, because here masks are still optional. And we still have kids come to our camp with masks. Absolutely. Right. And that's their preference. And we want to support that to a certain degree. Okay. So then once you come in, your backpack goes right on our bench. That way, when we gather up to leave, you sit on the bench, you throw on your backpack, we're out the door. So this goes on, this whole morning routine, until about 8:45. Then at 8:45, we sit the kids collectively. We go through orientation, right? The do's, the don'ts, what to do. If somebody bothers you, come tell a counselor. You need a bathroom, come tell a counselor. But it all centers around why. Why do we do this? Because we need you to be safe, right? We need you to be safe. So we want to make sure, that you are safe. And that's a big one for us, okay? That's real important for us. So when people do come into our space, we want to have those systems in place. And when the parent sees you putting a wristband around the kid's wrist, they'll ask why. Well, so that we can safely identify them. Also, when they're coming through the door on day 1, we're issuing the red camp t-shirt. And they go, wow, this is cool. How do we wear this? Well, every day when we go to the park, we want you wearing this wristband. Why? We want you wearing this wristband because we can quickly identify you in the park. Cool? All right. Marco, are you picking up any of that residual noise? I was waiting for our glass people to come in. Speak about safety. We had a broken mirror from our last day camp. Can you hear them talking, Marco? Because I'm going to grab my computer and move to the back room. Sound good, everybody? Sound good? Sound good? Hey, Marco, flash up our Boston information for them there. Oh, you can't hear them. Okay. Well, I'm going to play this one, but I'm going to move in the back anyways because I want to move in the back. Okay. Stay with me, people. All right. So, and I think that's the biggest thing that really makes our camp something amazing is we're extremely mindful of that, people. You know that when they walk through that door, we want to give them those things up front because as I say to my team, and I'll say it to you, what is it that the parents see? They see is when the kid is dropped off and when the kid is picked up, right? Isn't that all we see? When the kid is dropped off and when the kid is picked up, right? That's all we see. That's all they're going to see. So, with that said, I want to make sure that when they come to that door, we're showing some of these safety protocols that we have that are very, very impactful. And when we're giving out and issuing those red T-shirts, and we're telling them, you need to wear this every day when we go to the park, so we can identify the kids. Freaking powerful, just powerful, right? And they know that. We keep incident reports, and I'm always mindful of the team. Please fill out incident reports. As we say, when in doubt, fill it out. When in doubt, fill it out. So please make sure in your staff training, that's a big one. Because, we had this happen one time. A kid was in a martial arts class, and this is decades ago. And this kid got a bloody nose. Nobody hit him. It wasn't sparring night or anything. It was just because of the heat or whatever. This kid got a freaking bloody nose. We cleaned him up. No big deal. He goes with his dad and leaves. The dad calls us like an hour later, pissed off. How come you didn't tell me my son got a bloody nose? And we went, well, because it wasn't in any kind of contact. He just got a bloody nose and he said he gets them all the time. And so we just cleaned him up and put him back in class. He goes, well, isn't that something you think I should know? And so the light just went off. So we're very proactive on writing incident reports because it also gives you a record. You can't recall facts later. So things like that are important. Just like one of the things we have in camp is if a kid wets his pants. That's going to happen sometimes. It simply does, right? And we have a whole system of two deep leadership because nobody under any circumstance is behind a closed door with a camper. Never, never, ever. You follow me? Never, never, ever. Stay with me. Never, never, ever. So we have what's called two deep leadership. Let's say a kid wets his pants. We bring him to the bathroom. We open up that door. We prop it open. The lead guy is 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. His witness is standing there with a clipboard filling out the incident report, and we're directing traffic. We're telling little Johnny or little Susie, please clean yourself up, do this. We give them a change of clothes. We have a change of clothes on site. Go to Walmart, whatever. 3 different sizes of kid underwears, 3 different, kinds of sweats. We found them as cheap as $5, and they just need to change, right? And then you take the soiled clothing, you put it into the plastic bag, you put it with the kid stuff in a cubby, and that's it. But see, those types of protocols, one, empowers a team, right? When a team is frustrated and they don't know what to do, it's because you haven't trained them right. So training is important, but recognize you got a lot of new people coming into your camp, right? Especially if you're hiring people and they're just coming off high school, busy summer, whatever, and they're coming into your camp. You want to make sure that it's on the job training. So you want a real strong lead to direct traffic, right? And we pre-frame that. Hey, it's not that we're telling you what to do. We're pre-framing you for success. We're in the middle of this, right? We're in the middle of this doing what we do. We need you to know that we're not getting down on you. It's just sometimes it's the heat of battle, right? It's the heat of battle. And I say that, and the example I use passionately is this. All right. So we've had situations where, if you can, you reprimand in private, you praise in public. But make no mistake, folks, if some kid's punching another kid in camp, we're the first ones to intervene. Sir, is that a good choice? Should you be doing that right now? Right? We give him that real strong, what we call the bad dog voice, and he'll stop immediately. Right. So you want to be mindful of that. And again, I said to my team, we had it happen in spring camp. Some kid went home and he had a bruise on his belly, or he was, He said somebody was wrestling too hard with him. And I said to the team, did you witness this? No. Did you write an incident report? No. So it really is sheds a really bad light on your team. So those types of systems of safety should be number one in offering a premium camp. You with me? Everybody with me on this? Put it in the comments. Tell me that you really get this. So the first thing you should do, and I'm going to challenge you to do, is I want you to go through all of the current systems you have and review them for safety. Is this the most current, safe, way to offer what we're doing in this, whether it's dodgeball, we don't, that's why I'm very adamant about that. In the morning, you got everybody coming in the morning from gold, silver, and blue. I do not want a 12-year-old kid throwing a dodgeball at a 6-year-old kid. They're going to hurt them. They're simply going to hurt them. So that's why starting the morning with a counselor on one side playing all these kids. And we've even had it where we have gold, silver, blue all wanting to play dodgeball. Silver, go play for 3 minutes. You're out. Blue, go in for 3 minutes, out. Gold, go in for 3 minutes, out. And we go into a rotation like that in the morning when we're not in mods. So again, if you want to offer the most safest camp possible, a premium camp, separate them into groups. Let's see, Alyssa. I love the wristbands. Yeah, they're the paper wristbands. They just simply tape and then you wrap them around. But every day we're writing new ones for kids because they take them off their wrist, but they also sit on their backpack, Alyssa, so we can identify people, right? Oh yeah, financial boot camps are awesome. Roy, they're awesome. I highly recommend them, but I think the big thing with those, I think a better environment. A lot of them are done in hotels and meeting rooms. It's pretty sterile. It's pretty funky. So anytime you can take them outdoors, we do a lot of that on our 4-day experience of It's Time Live. The next one coming up is Balance in August 12th through 15th. Is that It's Time Live Balance. I don't want to be in the glitz and glam of Las Vegas. I don't want to sit in a meeting room with no windows and it's funky and sterile. I think people really miss that. They don't create an optimal learning environment, Roy, for people to learn in. If it's the optimal learning environment, guess what? They learn better. They receive the information better. So like with what we do with It's Time Live Balance, we're very passionate. We eat good. We go out into nature, we hike, it's an environment, and we keep it small, only 20 people. I think that's the other mistake people make because they're playing a numbers game. They do these really huge conventions, and it's a numbers game. Some of them are free because they're going to sell you products. Some are $99. They keep that $99, $199, $299, that type of price point because they want to get more people to the event. I think it's very ineffective for me because I feel like I'm in a sea of all this chaos and there's no real love. I can say purposefully that my events, smaller events, 20 people, they go on to enroll in my executive programs, my mentoring programs. They hire me as a consultant consistently, and we develop better relationships. So it's just a different type of learning. So consider that, Roy, with those financial boot camps. Okay. So we've created this environment of safety. We're very passionate about that. We have proper age groups. We have the wristbands. We have the red t-shirts, but it doesn't stop there. We also have handheld stop signs. So when we walk to the park, we're all on walkie-talkies. We make sure to group, a younger kid with an older kid just for the walk. I will take somebody from the silver group that's 11 years old and have them hold the hand of a 5-year-old when we're walking to the park. Person with the stop signs up front, person with the wagon, with all the games and balls and stuff are in the back, a stop sign with someone else in the back, and a stop sign in the middle. Make no mistake, walking to that park has to be done optimally. And guess what? We have a specific route that we walk to the park where it's the fewest amount of cars, the fewest amount of blind intersections. Even that's done. And me and the team will walk to that park in staff trainings, just like San Francisco. They walk to the park. We explain why we walk this route. We tell them, here's a blind spot here. Here's that blind spot there. So we're very clear about those different things so the team understands why. And I think that's a big part of our success. They understand why we don't let a 12-year-old sit there and play dodgeball with a 6-year-old. Because ironically, unless it's TikTok, Snapchat, throw the dog a bone, they have no freaking clue. And they'll sit there and throw a 12-year-old with a 6-year-old playing dodgeball. Then when the 6-year-old gets beamed in the face, they're scratching there and going, and that's just the freaking way it is. Common sense is no longer common sense. So you need to write all that common sense into every system and you train people. And when you have an incident like that, you put it in Slack that night at the end of the day. Hey, team, we had an incident today. In dodgeball in the morning, we had a 12-year-old hit a 6-year-old in the face. And their answer will be, well, because there weren't enough people to play dodgeball. No, you put a counselor on one side who's accountable and responsible and won't hit somebody in the face. And you put all the kids on the other side, right? And you continue to do that until you have enough kids that you can separate by age group. And if that's still not the case, you put the 5 and 6-year-old with you, the counselor, on one side, because that 12-year-old is looking out for the counselor to hit him with the dodgeball, not the 6-year-old. So that 12-year-old's aiming for the counselor, not the 6-year-old. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Of course it does, right? So, I want you to think about that one too. Okay, so when we walk to the park, once we get to the park, then we talk about where we need everybody stationed, right? Now, see, you're thinking this is just going to be a marketing webinar today. No freaking way. Because culturally, that kid raves about your camp. The parent raves about your camp to another parent and kid. You're in like Flint, right? As the saying used to go. If you think some slick ad with a bunch of videos and is going to do it, no, they come to your camp sucks. They're going to tell everybody you suck. They're never coming back to your camp, and the band played on. All right. So once we get to the park, I share with the team strategically, where do we need to place people? But again, why? Why do you think we post one of our counselors in front of the swings? Put it in the comments right now. Why do we post a counselor in front of the swings? Anybody put it in there? I see a lot of people sitting there talking. Come on, tell me, who are you? Where are you tuning in from? Who's coming to Boston? Remember, Marco's got his grand opening the day before. I really encourage you guys, come watch this grand opening. I fly in Thursday. Friday, I'm going to be hanging out with Lorenzo, taking some, we need some publicity shots and stuff. Friday night, I'm going to watch Marco's classes. You want to watch some classes? We can watch classes at Focus Martial Arts. And then Saturday's the grand opening. So there's other stuff we can do. And again, this is by design. People come out here for balance. The one in August, they'll watch classes all day Saturday. And then we do workshops and stuff in the afternoon. So child don't get hurt or fall off swing. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not so much the kid will fall off the swing. What I witnessed, kids are beelining for a play structure. This kid is swinging, boom, takes him out. I've seen it happen. The kid gets taken out because the parent's texting on the cell phone. His little toddler goes walking out in front of the swing and his own sibling takes him out. So we post somebody right there. We post somebody at the top of the slides so nobody gets pushed off or pushed out of their way. We post somebody at the bottom of the slide so our kids don't go up the slide. And then we have one person patrolling the perimeter. And we have those discussions. Why? And that is why they need to stick to the script. We're so passionate. Here, I'll grab this. Hang on. Since I'm back here. This is our after school program. And after school, it's free Fridays. But as you can see, everything is laid out by group, by minute, by second. And it isn't a thick one because we have kids' choice, homework, drawing. It's a very light Friday. There's a movie, popcorn, things like that. And they look forward to Friday after a long week of work, of being at school. But see, even this, we have schedules and they sit everywhere in acrylic frames up on the wall. And if I call this school at 10:30, I better know that in one group on silver, they're doing relay races. Blues on the other half of the mat, they're doing zombie tag. Gold's in the back doing the arts and crafts project. Don't tell me that you're decided to do something else, because that creates uncertainty, that creates more errors, that creates less safe environment. We script and we design these activities to keep these kids safe and to keep things rolling. But our modification this year, we're going to go to 20-minute mods. 20-minute mods. So if you have 3 groups in 1 hour, they get all 3 mods. Is that cool? So imagine that. Silver is doing relay races. Blue is doing zombie tag. Gold is here doing arts and crafts. 20 minutes, rotate. 20 minutes, rotate. So in an hour, each group will have done relay races, zombie tag, and arts and crafts. We just have to make the arts and crafts projects very simple so they can do them in 20 minutes. You with me? You with me? So that's important as well for what we do. And we're very tight about that. To make sure they stick to the script, they follow the schedule is crucial to safety. And it's a big added value when a parent wants to know what's done in a given day. You could send them a sample schedule ahead of time when they're deciding whether to book your camp or not. But to have it sitting in an acrylic frame right up front when they sign in, right? The parent can sign and go, oh, what's my kid doing today? Oh, they're doing the park. Oh, they're going to break boards. Oh, they're going to learn the life skill of focus. Wow, arts and crafts, connect four, Lego time. Wow. Oh, there's the snack. Good, good, good. Yeah, my kid eats a snack. Good. There's lunch. They can see that. And each day we swap that out. Again, it shows a well thought out, organized camp. You with me? You with me? That's so important. That's why we wear Black One Martial Arts t-shirts. In camp, all my counselors are wearing red so we can differentiate the camp crew from the teaching staff. Even something as basic as that is huge. And make no mistake, we keep loaner t-shirts ready to go. Your kid shows up without a red t-shirt, we're throwing a loaner on him or her. And again, why? Safety, safety, safety. Okay, you with me? So those are some of the key elements. And of course, throughout the day, especially with that apprehensive parents, come shadow the camp. You're welcome to stop by anytime. You're welcome to hang out. We always encourage that. Always, always. The first day, can I bring him in at 10 o'clock? Well, we'll be at the park by 10. Great, I'll drop him off there. Do you mind if I come sit in at 1:30? No problem. Come hang out. I think that type of advocacy shows transparency, it shows authenticity, and really, really can create that sense of trust and safety that parents are after so that they want to be in your camp. We're at like 75-80% booked is what TJ shared with me in our meeting on Monday. That's really good. And again, we're a premium camp. Pay attention to that. We're not the local park and rec YMCA charging $199 a week. We do it in 3 tiers, okay? The first 12 spots is $350. The next 12 spots is $400. The last 12 spots, $450. Now, you book your camps now, you choose your weeks later. So fundamentally what happens is that people can sit there and cancel camp all the way up until Friday, that Friday of the camp. So if you have camp on Monday, they cancel on Friday, they get a full refund. But you'd be amazed if you've booked that camp way ahead of time at $350. Most people want to hold it as credit because they don't want to double back later and come sign up for a camp that has 26 kids. And, they're one of the last 12 and they have to pay $450. We've had that all the time. Or here's another one. They book a camp at $350. They want to move it to another premium week that is now $450 because 25 spots are filled. Guess what we tell them? You will pay us the $100 difference. And they go, whoa, but I already paid for the week. No, you paid for the first 12 spots of week number 2. You're asking now to move to week number 9. And week number 9 is currently at 25 kids. You are now paying us $450 instead of $350. We have no challenge with that. Zero. Because ideally you want your camps booked up so you can staff better. It doesn't help if we have a flood of kids on Friday booking 6-7 spots because now we're scrambling for staff and then you create an unsafe environment. You with me? Okay. Questions up to this point, put them in. Virginia. Hey, Virginia. What's happening? And if you have any questions, put them in there. Put them in. I'm going to keep on rolling here. So again, we do it that way. Everything's done through the app. We actually have a Google Health form now. We used to do this written health form, which was nuts. Now it's in Google. And so they fill it out through Google. And I just had a long talk with Google about the security features. And they guarantee me that these health forms are very secure. Everything's there. Nobody can have access to that other than us. So we use this Google form via a link. And so when you sign up for camp, one of the first automated emails are, in order to be in our camp, we need you to fill out this health and safety form. If you don't fill it out, you can't be in our camp. And that's crucial, because I need to know if there's behavioral issues, if they have medication, things like that. The biggest thing you're going to get is an EpiPen. And we talk to insurance, we talk to everybody. It's perfectly fine to administer an EpiPen. It's not rocket science at all. Again, There's so many good videos at YouTube on the EpiPen, all those things, but 99.99999% of the time, I've never used an EpiPen in 22 years. It's never been an issue, but you're mindful. If it's a nuts thing, then you make sure to what extent. Do they look at a candy bar with nuts and break out? To what extent? And then we're mindful of that too, right? If they can be in the same room with someone eating nuts, all that. And that's why that health form is vital. Please have a good health form in place. That's super valuable. And it should all be done and completed before they come to camp. Because if I'm the lead counselor and I look at the list of the roster that week and it says here, allergic to nuts, don't sit them next to somebody with nuts, that empowers me. If it says, they're on the spectrum, so we give them this book. If they start to get agitated, let them read this book. You have those cues. Because a lot of times when your team's frustrated, it's because you're not giving them the tools they need. So gathering not just information, and I've witnessed that too, people that just gather freaking information thinking it's cool and hip in their camp, where we really want to be very proactive with very clear intent. We want safety. We want to facilitate your family to the best of our ability and our team, and create this experience that where people do feel confident you're going to keep kids safe and they're going to have fun. So having certain things like that in place are there. And my team, they're able to reach out to me and TJ at any time saying, hey, man, we have a challenge right now. We had that in spring camp. Some kid went from playing chess. He wanted to be black and he couldn't be black. He lost his mind and started bawling hysterically. So we were out on the mat teaching because this was the aftercare, and they called me. I came back here. The kid's balled up on the floor crying hysterically. Right? So I just stayed with him, let him do his thing, let him throw his tantrum. It wasn't that extreme. If something's that extreme, the first thing you do is move the campers away. Separate him from that kid because it stresses out your campers. It's not a good day. And when it goes down like that, that's protocol. Number one, move all the campers away from the kid having the tantrum. And then two, just facilitate. As long as they're not hurting themselves or anybody else, everybody goes through tantrums differently. And that's all. I could do a whole seminar on that. And for my studying, sometimes you need to sit with them and just have a passive voice, and they need that stimulation. So you pat. You just pat. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. Right? And you just calm them down, or your mom's on her way. Because if it's that extreme, we will call the parent. Right? And lo and behold, because again, in the state of California, people do not have to disclose whether that child has needs or not. We found out the brother is on the spectrum. We found out this child was tested and potentially is on the spectrum. Again, you can't demand to ask that information, but we talked them down. Everything was fine. The kid loved it and the day was good. But see, there's a scope that you really need to be clear with your team, what they're able to do and what they can't do. And so there's some things we don't train that team on, but you know what we train them on passionately? Here's our number. Here's our freaking number. If you need us, here is our number. Okay? Be really clear about that. So we have that in place. So they have that lifeline 24/7, 365 during camp to always reach out to me or TJ. We have a couple of other key people so they can always get a hold of somebody. Always get a hold of somebody. Cool? Because I don't care how much training you do, certain things are beyond the scope of a freshman in college. It's just simply beyond their scope. And we want to be mindful of that. Otherwise, you disempower this team. They're very uncomfortable with the situations you put them in, right? Because you didn't gather information from the health form. They didn't know this kid has a Curious George book. If you hand it to him, he's going to stop freaking out. All of those things. But there's a certain point in that process, it is beyond their scope. So please be very mindful of that. And then from that point moving forward, you have a system in place of whether it's calling you or whatever to be able to work on that. Because the worst thing you can do is tell a 15-year-old volunteer that he's got to administer an EpiPen. That's a bad day. That's a bad day for you, liability. It's just a bad day. Take your pick. It's just a freaking bad day. Okay? And you don't want to put people in that position. You with me? All right. So going back to the mods and the scheduling, when we do schedule things, even right down to the arts and crafts, it has to be age and skill level appropriate. Please write that down. Any activity you design should be age and skill level appropriate. Believe me, when those 5 and 6-year-olds were at the playground, they go, I don't want to play on the baby structure. I want to go on the big structure. I understand you do. And you can do that with your parents. We've had that. My parents always let us play on that structure. I understand that. But in our camp, our 5 and 6-year-olds play here On this play structure that says 5 and 6 year olds, they play here. I don't want to play here. Great. You can sit down and do Legos. You can sit down and do this arts and crafts. But again, the minute they go, well, we let the 5 and 6 year old go over there and play with the silver group, and then this 6 year old gets hit or knocked off. Well, why did you do that? Because he wanted to. No, the system says 5 and 6 year olds play on this play structure, older kids play here. And why do you think parks do that? Because it's by design for safety, right? It's by design for safety. So it's the same thing here. When you design a mod, make sure, even right down to the arts and crafts. We have an arts and crafts project for 5 and 6 year old, 7 and 8, 9 and older. You with me? And see, I mean, what I'm hoping you get out of this, could you share your daily schedules? Yeah, I'll absolutely do that. I'll put a PDF in the Success Never Sleeps group, and I'll put one in the Disruptor group. Marco, just DM me on that, and I'll make sure that happens. Yeah. And the big thing though is, you want to do things that are within your culture. Like I have this one after school program I work with at the school. They're very much into STEM, right? So they do the computer stuff, but they're very much into home economics. So they teach the kids how to fold t-shirts. They teach the kids how to toast a piece of bread. And I want to start adding that. I think it's super cool. Why can't we bring in a loaf of bread? And they don't eat it. They bring in a loaf of bread and they learn how to butter a piece of bread. Why don't we show them how to scramble an egg, right? Maybe using, I don't know, water, right? Pretend there's so many things you can do because I think that's empowering, and that's something that's not done anymore. Home ec is not done anymore. There is no home ec, right? And we know that. We know that. So I thought that was very cool about that camp. It's very unique to their culture. And it's something I want you to think about, okay? To sit there and have computer lab, because that's who you are. Both these people who run this school are into IT, right? That's cool. That works for them. We don't do that. That's one thing we boast. No electronics here. We have etch-a-sketches. We do perler beads, and we do perler beads for fine motor skills, and it teaches a kid patience, right? We do things like Rush Hour Junior and Rush Hour. They're thinking games. They're critical thinking games. We promote that. We promote that. So again, that's who we are. Jason, I need to schedule a consultation with you to clean up our summer camps. Yeah, absolutely. I love doing that stuff. Yeah, get it scheduled, man. So again, but we're visiting that. Right here we are talking about doing 20-minute mods. It's a better camp. It's faster paced. Kids don't get bored, right? But we have to design activities that we create the most ultimate experience in 20 minutes. You with me? So no matter what we do, we want to make sure whatever we create, it's the ultimate experience. And so as I think about that, going, okay. So if we're going to go to 20-minute mods, we're not doing perler beads. That is not a 20-minute project because they get the little, thing, they put all the beads on. So perler beads is a great activity. Stay with me. Perler beads is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful activity in aftercare because our camps run basically from 9 to 3. Okay. But early drop off from 8 to 9, late pickup from 3 to 6. All good. Because remember, you ending your freaking camp at 3 o'clock because you're multi-using your floor and you have martial arts classes and you're having your martial arts staff run day camp and go into karate classes. So you end your camp at 3 o'clock. You have just cut yourself off at the knees. Because who needs you? Who needs you for camp? The majority will be the working parent. So this is the designated after-school camp room we have here in Millbrae. It is soundproof. They can scream and yell back here. It doesn't bleed onto the main floor. I remember in San Francisco, before we took over the whole building, I actually had a medical curtain and the back half of the mat. I'm freaking running camp back there. They're doing Legos and stuff and aftercares. And we're trying to run classes out front. It was a nightmare. So as soon as we saw the light of day, we took over the rest of the building, and now there's a designated camp area, right? And when there's no camps going on, we use them for classes. So it's a good day. This back room is fully matted. As you can see behind me, we put tables and chairs on top of it. We have the ability to pull up these mats at a birthday party. So, because that's just way too messy and hard to clean. Okay. It's better to lift up these mats, go put them in the closet and run your birthday parties. We won't need to do that during camp. We just don't. Because why? They eat the snack in the park. They eat lunch in the park. They're only eating one snack on site. You with me? So again, that's very strategically done to help facilitate cleaning better and transitions better. Okay? So think about that as well. Stay right there. So again, hey, I'm going to do this, Marco. Let me do this. I got to unplug. No, I'm going to take this with me. I want to show you. Because this is cool stuff. God, see, Marco, how God works out. I get to do this here at the facility, but I get to show you something cool, okay? So tables and chairs are up because this room doubles for classes. But even something as basic as this. Wow, this is cool. I'm glad we could do this. Look at that. These are $3,000 cabinets. This looks like a school, does it not? Does it not? Okay, kid height chairs and tables, please. No freaking folding chairs. Kids get pinched, they get caught, they accidentally fold that chair. These tables are adjustable height, but look at these chairs. Kid height chairs. Got little nubs on the bottom so they don't eat up our mats. But here's the thing we're very proud of. Everybody see that? Everything is labeled and done in modules. So let's say hypothetically, it's time for apples to apples. I see that on the schedule. I pull out apples to apples. It's ready to go. We got rid of all of the packaging because it takes up space, right? It takes up space. So we make sure that we're good to go and we're ready. You see that? Is that cool? Boom. So as far as the team goes, efficiency-wise, this isn't put in here. What? Is the label missing? No. See, this isn't supposed to be backwards. Okay, man, make me crazy. Okay, you see? Simon, boom, it's ready to go. Perfection. It's all, these must be the extra broken sets, but I'll talk to the team about that. You know why? Because when I go grab perfection, I can't freaking grab it because you got these stupid ones in front of it. See, that kind of stuff makes me nuts. See, this isn't common sense to me. This isn't, right? I go to grab perfection. This is in the way. I would take these and go put them up here maybe on top of the shelf out of the way. Etch-a-sketch, everything. You see that? So even something as basic as that, our Legos are on the bottom, boom, boom, boom. Something as basic as this makes facilitating it much more efficient. Why these paintbrushes are here, I don't know. So that kind of stuff is not cool. But again, I blame me because we don't have a system in place to train this team. They didn't know what to do with those paintbrushes. Okay, so it makes me think as a facilitator, this is all arts and crafts. Look at that. Books on the bottom. We got books 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and older. The books are even set up so that way we can run efficiently. Everything for me is about efficiency. You know, so when we produce these camps, everything is about efficiency, right? So when we put these cases together and all these different things, we want stuff to be efficient. You with me? Marco, we put labels on both sides. Yeah, right? There you go, Marco. So we're going to put labels on both sides. But that'll be in prep. So now that I saw that, Marco, that's exactly what I was thinking. But right now, that label should have been out, right? But we're going to double back. And that's exactly what I was thinking because that's vision work. I'm going, wow, if there was a label on both sides, I wouldn't have to bitch at them about, you got to do it labels facing out, right? So, right, we'll put labels on both sides. Dun, 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 get it done. All right, so those types of things are all going to make an amazing camp. We haven't even talked about marketing, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm here to tell you this. We have done almost zero external marketing for our camps, and we're about 80% booked, like TJ told me, because we have built that trust year after year after year after year. Internal marketing, tons. Marketing at our friends and family page, tons. Our One Martial Arts business page for each location at Facebook, yes. Are we posting at our Google page, with updates and, links and books and things like that? Yes. It's all there. I think I'm doing a minimal amount of advertising at a website called nextdoor.com. It's more community-based. We like that. We look for community pages at Facebook, right? We have the Parents of Parkside in San Francisco. We'll post the camp there. We have Millbrae Parents here as a Facebook group. We will post it there. And then we're very coy about that. Hey, we hope it's okay. This is Brannon, my wife and I, I've lived in Millbrae for 17 years. Our family, and we have this great camp. If anyone's interested, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you with me? So again, we're very passionate about positioning ourselves in the community as more of the co-op vibe. I'm not into 1999, 3 classes. We don't position ourselves there. Who does that really well? The co-op community vibe, Journey Martial Arts. Look at Virginia stuff. We're that same type of vibe. You don't see the smoke, and the dark background with the slow motion, kneeing some guy in the groin and ripping out his eyes. That's not us. That's not what we do. We promote the very community based, co op, fun type vibe. That's who we are. So the people that seek us out tend to be, because we're heavy in the tech industry here, right? They like that. They like that touchy feely kumbaya, honor my kids' feelings vibe. But it's right in line with our core values. It's not made up and facetious at all. It's actually very heartfelt. That's who we are. That's what we promote. That's where we're at. So the safety, being considerate of your child's feelings, reading, Legos, things like that. We're not promoting Nerf blasters and swords this week. It's just not who we are. So again, as they say, stay in your lane. I think that's a big one. Stay in your lane. Know what your strengths are. Know what your weaknesses are, and go deep. 10x those things, right? 10x. 10x that. Cool. All right, man. Any questions today? We could probably do a part 2 on this, huh, Marco, and show them my marketing and stuff. We'll talk about that. I'll be in Boston next week, as you know, so we'll hopefully try to rerun a show on Friday. Marco will post a rerun of one of the good shows. Good shows. They're all good shows, but we'll do a rerun on that, okay? And we'll post that next week. I hope you choose to come where? Boston. Sunday, April 23rd. It's Time Live Boston. It's going to be amazing. Right now, we're about 15 people. We're closing in on 15. That's the way I love to roll. We know It's Time Live Balance in August 12th through 15th is a 4-day experience. We only take 20 school owners, right? So if Boston ends up being close to 20, I'll be a happy camper. But it'll be quality time. It'll be intimate. We cover everything it takes to be a happier person, to be a more holistic business where you recognize it's not business, it's personal. They go together, right? Business and personal go together when it comes to a small business. So to create a business that's system driven, but it's infused with your heart and soul and personality of what you really believe great service and business should be, is what makes my event so special and unique. I can't say it enough. And of course, if you can't make it, sign up for the virtual version, right? Because you can be there live with us, do the day with us, and then you can watch it again and 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 again. Cool? All right. Any questions before we wrap up today? Marco's saying we might do a live show from Focus on that Friday. We could do that too, Marco. Oh, man, Marco's challenging me. Maybe we're going to go It's Time Live. I would do Success Never Sleeps from Marco's place. Might do that, sure. You never know what we're going to do, okay? Yeah, labels on both sides. Okay, I got that, Marco. Cool. Hey, sir, from Collingwood, Ontario. Hey, who's this from Collingwood, Ontario? Canada. Another person tuning in from Canada. Who is it? And then we'll wrap this up.
Okay. I found this on the web for Hey Sir from Collingwood, Ontario. Hey, who is this from Collingwood, Ontario, Canada? Another person tuning in from Canada. Who is it? Check it out.
Thank you, Siri. Yeah, that voice recognition, I got to work on that, right? I got to work on that. All righty, folks. So let's thank our sponsors. Tusa, we have Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Live Life Skills, LC Accounting. Thank you so much for backing me up, allowing me to do what I do. I use all 5 of these companies. I do. I use all 5 of them. And I think that you partner yourself with people that allow you to fulfill your vision. And I know there's a lot of CRM systems, a lot of martial arts vendors, a lot of bookkeepers, a lot of character development out there. But I believe the collective of these 5 different companies are in line with my core values and the visions of what I do. Cool. So thank you to my sponsors. Thank you, Marco, for holding up the back end on all this craziness. I thank all you guys for being there. Ivan, what's up, Ivan? I'm glad it's you. I'm glad Ivan's there. All you guys, Ontario, Toronto, whatever side you're on, try to come down to Boston, man. Come down from Canada. Hang out with us in Boston on Sunday, April 23rd. Like I said, we have a few spots left for that event. Cool? All right. Hey, I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.